All right, I think we're back online. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. This is the second Facebook Live that I've done, and so I'm still learning the process. And forgive me. Hopefully, Cliff will find his way on, and we'll have that chat. I have dogs in the background here that you can hear as well, and hopefully we're able to get the technical pieces worked out, and we'll have a great opportunity to talk tonight. I see some of the folks are finding their way around. Hi, Megan. Thanks for joining us. I did have a technical issue there getting started with both the sound and the video, and so I'm going to reach in and add Cliff, and we're going to do this right now. And hey, Megan. So Cliff, hi. So we're back, and I'm so sorry. So I hit the wrong button and I killed off the feed there, and we are going to start completely over. Thank you for being patient with me. This is the second Facebook Live I've ever done, and so I'm still learning the technology and the process. I can hear you. We're good this time, and I see several of my friends from Iowa have joined us. Hi, Karen. Hi, Erica. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of it. Hi, Sharon. We appreciate you joining us tonight, and even despite the fact that the previous video ended. So let's start that completely over. Cliff, you're joining us from Loxahatchee, Florida tonight. We met when I was there in South Florida last week. I was very impressed by you and Melissa and your story, and I thought this would be a great opportunity for us to get together and talk about the experiences that we're having. I said before you came on, happy International Women's Day to everybody. I actually thought this was a great conversation to have on International Women's Day because, in my day job, I work for a company that has a woman CEO, and I know in Thrive, I've become associated with people working with and for and reaching out to people who are women leaders and who are extremely impressive, and that was the experience I had last week in Florida as well. So to get started, say hi to everybody and tell us when you got started in this whole thing.
Once again, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
We're good. We're good.
All right. Fantastic. So, so for me, a little bit about me, a year ago is when I was introduced to Thrive. But before that, it was diet sodas all day, every day. I was looking for a way to be able to work, 60 hours a week, be able to go to master's classes at night at the University of Miami, and then turn around and drive almost 2 hours home after the night class and get home around 11 o'clock at night and then get up at 6 in the morning and start all over again. Diet soda was the way that I got through my life. I thought that's what everybody did. Coffee, diet soda, Monster or energy drinks, whatever it may be. It was a way to stimulate our body to get us through life, right?
Absolutely. I was the worst, man. It was energy drinks and cupcakes, and that's how I thought I survived. And it was, I didn't even sense it after a while, sort of the energy roller coaster that I was riding where it would fall down and go back up. So, yeah. And you have a day job. You work in an office environment, a company.
Yes. Yep. I work for a global company. So I'm in the office all day long. So, my lifestyle led me to be fairly sedentary. So, when I'm pumping down all that sugar with the diet sodas and, of course, hitting a fast food joint on the way home after a long night at class, obviously the pounds started coming on. The healthiness just dropped dramatically. I got to a point where I knew that I needed to do something, but I didn't know what to do. Spoke to the doctor. Doctor said, absolutely, you need to get some exercise in you. And I'm thinking, well, okay, I'm a guy. I know I need to exercise. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm getting a little older.
Right.
I got a few gray hairs in the beard. But, I was like, well, how am I going to find the time and the energy to be able to exercise? Who has time for that kind of stuff? So, of course, I said, hey, more caffeine. That'll do it. Again, my caffeine addiction took over. My sugar addiction took over. And that's what I was getting through with life. Thank goodness, a year ago, I was introduced to something that really did change my life. It enabled me to stop drinking soda altogether. I don't have that roller coaster you were just talking about anymore with the sugar high and the sugar crash, followed by a sugar high and another sugar crash. I actually found something that was going to be able to take me through my entire day, full of energy, and just enjoying the day, being able to do something and be a better husband. We talk about International Women's Day today.
Absolutely.
It's my job as a husband to take care of my woman, my wife. And I really wasn't doing that great of a job a year ago.
Well, and that, this is true of everybody. No matter what she says, she wants you off the couch. Like, it's not that she has a list, and she does, but you know, there's much more of an experience that goes on when you're not just plopping yourself in front of the television every night. And even if you're getting into like watching television shows and stuff together, that's still an extremely sedentary lifestyle. And I think a lot about how, you know, people in my parents' generation, they might go sit on the bar at the end of the day, and that was how men sort of decompressed. And a lot of them had jobs that required physical labor, or used a lot of physical energy. And we don't necessarily have that, but our jobs can take all the mental energy out of us, so that by the time you're home at 6 p.m., you're just this shell. And that's not doing any good to the spouse, the kids, and the family members, and even the coworkers, really, after a while. But you're not meeting your responsibilities when you're in that situation, right? You just have no energy for anything. And I can remember thinking 3 or 4 years ago, telling Grace, you know, the issue is physical energy. I still want it. I still make lists. I'm still trying to do a lot of things. I'm still trying to accomplish a lot. I want to be good at work. I want to be on the ball. I want to have that next great idea. But, you know, it's not happening when all you're doing is like dragging yourself to the coffee pot every morning.
Yeah, you know, and that's a great point, because, you know, you're kind of hitting on mental acuity there. When you're pumping all that sugar and that caffeine into your system, that's not what leads you to have that great idea or that energy to be able to do the things that you want to do. Like you said, even, you know, laying on the couch, you know, I quickly found out that, yeah, do what you want does not mean, yeah, do what you want. When your wife says that means. So that means get up and do what she asked you to do, probably 10 times by now. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, the difference with the mental acuity now is just off the charts. You know, being able to be more focused at work, more focused at school, more focused when I come home to spend time with my 3 young daughters and my wife. It's night and day between the two things. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think a shell is a great example of exactly what you're talking about. You're there, but you're not really there.
Yep, you're not present, and you've got to be engaged and present and living your life every day. Otherwise, you're not doing any good for the people around you in either of those environments. So, and then, you know, you talked a little bit about metabolism too. It's harder to keep that weight off in your 30s and 40s. It just, your body changes, and it becomes really easy to put on a few pounds a year until you're way out of whack and it's 30 or 40 pounds. And, you know, you do notice that. That contributes to the loss of energy. At least that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And, you know, one thing I think too is that energy, even energy aside, a positivity for yourself, whether it's, you know, your self-positivity when you look in the mirror, or how you present yourself to others, when you feel better on the inside, you can't help but feel better to everyone else, you know, to show that positivity to everybody else. So as you mentioned, when your pants are getting tighter and when your shirts are getting smaller in the dryer, you know, you don't feel as confident when you walk out there. You might still be wearing that suit. You might still look great on the outside, but your shoulders are slumped, your head's a little down. You don't have that positivity and that confidence. That feeling good on the inside shows on the outside.
That's true. All right. So what you found is the same thing that we're both doing now. So tell me a little bit about what happened to you when you started using the Thrive 3-step system, and when you started to feel effects.
Absolutely. So, you know, for me, you know, my wife and I started at the same time, and, you know, day one for her was phenomenal. She was, you know, screaming from the rooftops how wonderful Thrive was. And I won't lie, I was a huge skeptic. You know, I didn't believe in how that could work to make a difference for you. And I didn't feel anything the first day that I tried. I didn't feel anything the second day I tried. Didn't feel anything the third day I tried. It really wasn't until day 10 that I finally felt that burst of energy, that more of that completeness. But of course, you know, to be honest, John, the whole time I was still dumping down diet sodas the whole time. And, you know, and the instructions clearly said,
sure,
no caffeine, but I knew better. I needed my caffeine to make it through the day. So I was kind of still self-sabotaging. But when I stopped that, when I got away from sodas and just relied on the 3 steps of Thrive, the difference has been phenomenal. I'm hitting the gym now 3 to 4 nights a week. I'm going boxing. If you'd asked me a year ago, would I ever go boxing? I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you if I'd ever gone to the gym, right? I mean, I don't know if anybody can give us some hearts out there. How many people have gone to the gym?
Right. We've earned the hearts.
Yeah.
We've earned the hearts.
Crazy.
I'm only 9 weeks into it, finishing week 9, and I am making it to the gym. I am eating right. I am having the effect I've shared before. You know, I'm down 28 pounds. I feel great. I've got energy like that. 20s. And the inspiration you're giving me is that I can sustain that over the course of at least a year. We know that. We know it becomes a lifestyle. I thought about day 10, day 12, that it was something that was really going to be a permanent change for me. Did you reach a point like that where it kind of felt like, oh yeah, like this is how I'm going to do it now?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I'm always stubborn, right? I always think I know the better answer. So, there was times where I was like, okay, well, I'll just drink a few sodas here and there, or I'll just grab one cheeseburger here and there. I really found that it was really more of a feeling that I started understanding when I was slowing my own body down. I was hurting my own self. I realized that I didn't have to feel the way I felt on fast food and diet soda all the time. That Thrive really did take care of what I needed. And it was odd that my own cravings started to change. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a terrible sweet tooth, but I don't really crave that stuff anymore. I'll be honest. That's where my diet soda came in. It took care of my sweet tooth. But I don't really have that sweet craving anymore. And I actually don't like fast food anymore. I don't want that anymore. It's almost like I've kind of been reprogrammed from the inside to want a more healthy lifestyle. When I go to the gym, I know that I'm not going to have a good workout if I'm stuffing cheeseburgers and French fries before
I noticed that in this period of time, the last 9 weeks, when I eat something that's really bad for me, like go get the burger or whatever, that is a really bad experience the rest of the way. Like yes. I feel terrible after I've eaten that. And so it actually feels a little bit worse. Your body does want the fuel. And you have to do it right. And that was always hard for me. Look, I know there are people who hop out of bed at 4:45 in the morning with no alarm. That was not me. It's never going to be me, right? There are the rest of us who are going to need some kind of training to make that work. And for, me, Thrive was the difference between me being on the couch or me being in my running shoes. It was the thing that came between those two things. And I'm really grateful for it in that sense. Now, do you run or you do weights and stuff in addition to the boxing, or what is your workout routine?
Really, it's mostly boxing right now. I'm a former runner. I used to run all the time. I loved it. Ran in college, ran a marathon, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm trying to get myself back into a good shape. I'm getting my weight down. I'm getting my health up. The inches are melting off. And so I'm getting to the point where I'd like to start looking at a 5K that's coming up. We have a 5K that's coming up that I'm kind of getting excited about. I think it's more mental, that I still see myself as a year ago. So like, how in the world could that guy a year ago ever run a 5K? So
I'm still in that. I'll just tell you, I have, I'm seeing things in the mirror where I'm like, what happened there? Right. And so I'm still catching up to all that.
Yeah. And it takes time, right? I think that, a lot of people have commented about, my losing inches and my losing weight and just the way that I present myself, but it's still harder for us, especially as guys, right? As guys, we think we know the answers. We think we know everything. We don't need anyone to tell us what's better, or that whatever we're doing is not the best way to do it, right? But it's slowly showing now, and it's slowly, for me, I'm finally starting to understand that I am changing. I am seeing a difference. You mentioned the burger. I could barely eat half a burger nowadays because it just doesn't taste that good anymore. It just doesn't. I'd rather have some steak and asparagus, or some chicken and some green beans, which a year ago, I didn't even eat vegetables. I think the closest thing I came to a vegetable was that bloomin' onion at Outback.
So you said something really important there. I think as guys, we will draw up a spreadsheet for anything. We'll make a 5-point process to solve anything that we come across. But then you talk to us about the gut, the dad bod, and we treat it like asking for directions. We're like, I got this. I'll just do whatever I want, And so there's a psychological piece to get over as guys, I think. And I also think it's important that we do that. And people in our life are counting on us to do that.
Absolutely.
So what's the thing that you've done with your family in the last year that you didn't think you would have done previous to that?
Oh, that's I'll tell you, even just last week, or actually last night, I think, it kind of struck me, because in the past, like I said, working long hours, going to school at night, not having the energy to do anything. And then here I was, my middle daughter, I have 11 and 8 and a 5-year-old. And one of them's going crazy right here beside me. So go get ready for that.
Tell us who that is.
Yeah. So
There you
hold
go.
on, hold on. Okay. They're obviously very camera shy. Very camera shy.
Fantastic.
Order for Thrive.
Yes. They right. They don't know about these.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, all right. You guys
Love
will
to see
take the
it.
dogs. But no,
That's the chocolate mix. I haven't tried that yet.
oh, it's by far the best. Don't listen to anybody else. Chocolate's the best.
Your team chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, but you know, it hit me last night that you know, I came home from work, directly from work. I got on the phone to one of my associates in Australia because obviously the time difference is so large that his daytime is my nighttime. And I didn't even barely get in the house before I was on that phone. And my middle daughter, the crazy one that just came in with the glasses, she said, "Daddy, can you come play baby doctor with me?" And I have zero doubt. I have no doubt that a year ago, well, I know, because I would have said, "No, honey, I don't have time. I'm tired. Let Daddy rest." You know, whatever my excuse would have been. But I literally said, "Absolutely, sweetheart. As soon as I hang up on this phone, we're going to play baby doctor." And just to hear her run through the house and yell how excited she was, "Dad's going to play baby doctor with me." Dad. I mean, that's worth everything that I do now. Everything.
That's incredible, man. That's great. I love to hear it. So let's do it quickly. Thrive is a 3-step process. Get up in the morning. First thing, your feet at the floor. You do 2 capsules, and then you do about 20, 30 minutes later a mix. We were talking about different flavors: vanilla, strawberry. There's a candy cane. I'm a vanilla guy. Nobody's going to be surprised by that. Iowa guy. And then you're into the chocolate, right? You're digging the chocolate. And then there is a patch, a DFT patch that you wear on your arm. I've got long sleeves. I'm not able to do it tonight. But so I wear the black Ultra patch, and you know, I guess I actually take mine off at night, or at least I have been doing that. And then you know, you get up and do it over again, and it's just from the 3rd day or so on, I started to feel effects, and by day 10, I knew it was going to be a permanent habit for me.
Yeah, and you know, that's the crazy part, right? You just mentioned you take your DFT off at night before you go to bed, and I sleep with mine on. I mean, I think is a great thing about Thrive, is that Thrive individualizes to each person. So my nutritional needs are different than your nutritional needs than, you know, the next guy's nutritional needs. So the ability to follow Thrive, but yet gear it to what we need personally is phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing else out there that's this simple. Like you said, 3 simple steps, 5 minutes in the morning. I don't care what our jobs are. I don't care what we're doing all day. We can find 5 minutes to do something to take care of ourselves. So then we have the energy, we have the healthiness to be able to take care of our family. That's our responsibility, I believe.
Yeah, and what I love is that it's not magic. We're not replacing meals. We're not, you know, it's not supposed to suppress anything. It's really, it works together with great nutrition and the working out to give you the lifestyle that you want and to really make you be present. So, you know, for me, I think there's a sense that you got into a little bit. I understand my own body. I don't need any help. I can handle this. I know how to go get on the treadmill. But I'll tell you, this experience I had in my 40s was different, and it wasn't as obvious that I could just jump on the treadmill and change all this. And I am so grateful that someone reached out to me and I had the opportunity to do a sample, to try Thrive, to learn about it, to understand how it was going to change my life. And I'll tell you, I am as excited about talking about this as I have been anything that I've ever worked on. And so I'm glad to be able to do this with you tonight. I appreciate it. You got a basketball team in the tournament next week?
I don't. I'm a pro guy, and I have to admit, I love basketball, but football is still my passion. So go Colts.
All right.
Maybe they'll actually be decent next year, but we'll see.
All right. All right. Fantastic. So, you know, what's the one thing that let me just turn very briefly to the fact that you have a Thrive business at the same time that you work a full-time job, and you have managed to make that work, and you and your spouse are just these incredible partners. What's been most rewarding about being a Thrive promoter and having that role?
Wow. I mean, I'll be honest. There's so many things that have been phenomenal in the last year, from the people that I've met to the better understanding I have of how something can change your life just in 5 minutes in the morning. The closeness and the joining of I guess goals that my wife and I have. You know, in the past, it was more about, you know, I'm doing my thing at work, she's doing her thing with the kids. You know, we'll try to meet at night, maybe say hi before we go to bed. Now, you know, we actually get together. We have goals set. We know what we want to accomplish. We have a vision board, which I never even heard of. You know, we get up in the morning now. You know, I used to be that same guy you were talking about, how you didn't get up in the morning. We get up in the morning now at 5:15 in the morning, and we do a couples devotional, which we had never done in the past. So I feel like as much as the business is great, as much as the car bonus is phenomenal, as much as people are just out of this world, at the end of the day, the closeness that it has brought with my wife is bar none the favorite thing that I've experienced so far in my first year driving.
No, that's a fantastic story, and I'm glad you took a little time to share it with me tonight. You know, I'll tell you the thing that was really compelling when we talked last week, when I was able to be a part of your team meeting in South Florida, and that was a really great experience for me, and it just reinforced how many great people there are involved. Like, there were teachers and office workers and caregivers, and just, you know, all slices and all strata of the kinds of people you run into, and that was inspiring. But I'll tell you, you know, you really made an impression upon me when you said that you had decided about a year ago that jumping on Facebook to tell people they're wrong about politics wasn't really moving your life forward or providing anything positive to the world. And I had a similar experience. Like, we're accountable for how we live our lives and the decisions we make and the impact we have on other people. No one's going to go back and read those Facebook posts. Like, it's got to be about today, and what did you do today, and who did you do it for, and what was the outcome that you were looking for. And so for that, I want to say, you know, I was really glad to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, to bring that up is such a great point, because to go back and look at what my Facebook would look like a year ago, you know, trying to change the world through social media just doesn't work that way. You know, we're all keyboard activists nowadays. But, you know,
clicktivism.
Yeah,
clicktivism.
Yeah, but a lot of that now, you know, like I said, I never felt great on the inside, and now that I feel better, I'm positive. I can't help but be more positive and share that positivity with other people. And then, you know, over the last year, to see how many lives have been touched and changed by Thrive, how can you not be positive? How can you not want to share that?
No, that's fantastic. Well, thanks again, Cliff. I appreciate your patience, and maybe we can do this again sometime now that I've learned how to run the camera. I feel like we could go on for quite a while.
Absolutely. Well, you know, and what I would say too is that, you know, I think, you know, not that a man's perspective is any better than anybody else's, obviously, but, you know, there's a lot of times where us guys, you know, do kind of have to look to each other for guidance, because, you know, we don't want to accept anyone else's opinion because we always are right. But, you know, if anybody has any ideas of anything that they would like for us to cover, future video or future live, please leave it in the comments. Let us know. We're happy to do anything we can share. We'll do some research. We'll do all the work for you. We don't care. We just want to be able to share this positivity with other guys and be able to show them what Thrive really can do in their life.
Can't wait to share it with you. If you want to get into it, give me a direct message or a comment below, or any kind of indication that you want to know more. We'll get you involved.
Fantastic.
All right. Thanks, Cliff. Maybe next week. All right.
Sounds great. Have a great night.
All right. Enjoy that weather. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Bye.